Many people believe that identifying with movies, movie characters, and music, that this is all meaningful. But what if I told you that identifying with these characters and lyrics is actually keeping you disconnected from your own life? What if I told you that this identification with narrative and story arc is actually keeping you in a character loop that you cannot escape from? You see, modern culture, it has actually encouraged us to over-identify with everything, with politics, with neurodivergence, personality types, certain aesthetics, music, the list goes on and on. Even the reels that we send each other to our friends, they have some representation of us within that video that we can identify with. And some of you may be asking me at this point, well, isn't that the point of movies and music? It's to identify with it so that we can immerse ourselves in the experience. And I would say, yeah, that is somewhat true. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against identification and stories. I think they're important and they're innate within humans. But when we begin to over-identify with these narratives unconsciously, and we begin to binge watch these story arcs and TV shows all of the times, we begin to live vicariously through these characters rather than playing out our own story. You see, I have this friend. He's a childhood friend. And he used to love all of the greats, all of the icons. Michael Jackson, Tupac Shakur, but one of his favorites was Scarface. He loved the bravado. He loved the confidence that Scarface had, and he loved the cigar. He loved the energy that Scarface had. But when I look back at it now, he wasn't necessarily anything like Scarface. He didn't take the risk that Scarface took in the movie. He wasn't a criminal. He wasn't building an empire. And I'm not shitting on my friend. We all do this. This is a very human trait. And I did it to a certain extent, but I always remember being a child and saying to myself, I don't want to be like them. I want to be like me. I want to be someone that other people want to emulate. And maybe that's its own form of narcissism. But I still feel like it's a little bit more healthy, because using someone else's likeness and somebody else's image in the way that my friend did it, it was very compensatory. It's like people who don't have real power and energy within their real lives, they use the image of somebody else to overcompensate for that loss that they actually feel. And so I think that if you're an overconfident type of person, maybe your identification is upward. You identify with the main character. You identify with the rebel, the bad boy, the outlaw, the genius. And in some cases, you actually even identify with the villain, because the villain has a lot of power. And if you're an insecure type of person, maybe you identify downward. Maybe you identify with the co-star, the safe, responsible character, the one that gets overlooked. Maybe it's the comic relief. And so we have to be careful, because the type of person we are may dictate which character positioning we claim. And if you're not careful with this, if you're not aware of it, you can actually lock yourself into a lot of limiting self-beliefs. I think my real point here is that, maybe it's not that we necessarily need to be the main character. We need to stop identifying with these symbols in our lives and become more of ourselves, our true, real selves. We need to go through our own character arcs, which means going out and taking risks in our real lives. And because the hero's journey, as told by Joseph Campbell, there is an adversary. There is this mountain that we need to climb. There is this dragon that we need to slay. And if we don't identify that dragon, whatever that thing is, and actively pursue it, we kind of end up staying in our own minds, in our own little safe comfort zones, right? We never leave the house. We end up laying on the couch and binge watching TV or doom scrolling on our phones, finding ourselves in all of these images, and we never actually go out and do anything that develops our real character into the person that we need to become. There is true potential hiding within us, and we need to find a way to bring that out. And if we don't, we may get lost in obscurity. We may be an extra in everybody else's movie because we don't want to, you know, leave the cave. I think the remedy for this, and I don't know if this is going to be true for everybody, but it's just an idea, really. It's becoming nobody. It's like, quit identifying with our desires and who we think we are, you know, the artist, the farmer, the entrepreneur, the builder. You know what I'm saying? We identify with all of these things, and we can become nobody. We can let go of all of these desires and quit attaching ourselves to achievements or validation or how we want people to see us or how we think we should show up in this world based on what everybody else is doing, comparing ourselves to people online and in movies and in the media and at costume parties and Met galas and all of this bullshit that everybody thinks is so important or they want to be a part of, but it's not true. We really just want to embody who we truly are. And the only way we can do that is by fucking shutting off the TV and turning off of our phones and going out there and pursuing the life that we actually want. And, you know, maybe it's not about being the hero. Maybe it's just about becoming the realest version of ourselves. See, I don't necessarily know if I'm ready to become nobody yet. I feel like there is a lot that I do want to achieve. I feel like there is a lot that I still want to build. And maybe that's what it takes, is we have to do a little bit of ego building and character development before we can transcend it. It's something that I'm noticing in the world and that I'm seeing with people and in myself. And I want to make others aware of it because, you know, awareness is the key. Becoming aware of the things that drive you and dictate your behavior and your emotions, becoming aware of all of this, and then coming back to the present moment, not staying in your head, not staying in the identification, not staying in the attachment or the emotion. That is the key. Being here now and living in the present and cultivating your true potential. So I'll quit rambling, but I appreciate you listening to this video. If you have any other insights or any other ideas that you think would add to this video or this concept that I'm kind of working out in real time, please let me know in the comments. Please give me a like and a subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. If they're helping you at all, share them with a friend. And yeah, let's do this. Let's cultivate ourselves and reach our potentials. All right, peace.